Hello everyone, and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, the weekend, the glorious weekend is finally within reach, and yours truly is very much looking forward to doing as little as humanly possible, with the exception, of course, of watching some Age of Empires games, much like the one we're about to watch, where the Viper, playing as the Mongols in blue, gets ready to take on DogAo, playing as the Bengalis in red. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with adorable sheep butts and Instagrammable red and blue bandanas. Where are you, Mr. Sheep? Not too sure why I zoomed in on a house there. There you are. And try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today? Now the Mongols are an incredibly fast cavalry-centric civilization. Their scout line units come with extra line of sight. Their cav archers fire faster. Their light cav, their hussars, their steppe lancers all come with extra HP, and their unique unit is the Mangadai, a fast-firing quick cavalry archer with an attack bonus against siege units. Now, to keep up with their lightning-fast army on the battlefield, Mongol siege can actually be upgraded to move 50% faster. Now, to support their military endeavors out on the map, Mongol hunters do work 40% faster, and their houses, of all things, can be upgraded so that they don't lose population space if they get destroyed. Now, taking a look at the bottom right of our screen, we've got DogAo playing as the Bengalis, an elephant civilization through and through. Bengali elephants, all of their elephant units receive less bonus damage, are more resistant to conversion, and can be upgraded to attack 20% faster, which is amazing since the Bengalis do get fully upgraded battle elephants, siege elephants, and their elephant archers already benefit from Parthian tactics. Now, in addition, Bengali melee cavalry do come with a small attack bonus against skirmishers, which may help defend any kind of feudal age shenanigans, let's put it like that. Now, to support their slow, chunky units on the battlefield, Bengali monks come with a huge +3/+3 armor boost, and their unique unit, the Ratha, is one of the most versatile but also hated units in the game, being a chariot unit that can switch between ranged and ranged and melee attacks. And by the way, their melee attacks now come with trample damage. Now, the Ratha, thinking about this Civ matchup, may not be a terrible unit, so I'm hoping we get to see a lot of them out of DogAo, although as everyone who loves and hates the Ratha, or rather loves to hate the Ratha, knows it is quite an expensive unit to get up to full power. I'm not too sure why this sheep is being left to rot away underneath the town center, but it is what it is. Now, to support the Bengali army, every Bengali town center spawns 2 villagers for free when the next age is reached, and you guys know this is one of my favorite next age bonuses, features, whatever you want to call it, characteristics to watch in real time. So I hope I do get to catch DogAo as he goes up to Feudal Age, and the Bengalis can upgrade their entire villager and monk population so that they take up 10% population space by making each and every one of these villagers take up 0.9 population room instead of 1. And so when you're in the later stages of the game, you can add a little bit more army, you can build up a little bit of a bigger economy, or if you want, you can just flex your Bengali muscles and show off and just get that Mahayana upgrade and do nothing with it. Age of Empires, open world game. You can do whatever the hell you want. Let's take a look at the positions the players are starting with and see if anyone is any advantaged or disadvantaged over their opponent, as they both currently sit at 17 villagers a pop. Primary gold for our Mongol, kind of off to the side. So kind of, but not really. On the attack path, primary stone, nice and secure in the back. Forests, 1, 2, 3 in a triangle shape. So not the worst forests ever. Also pretty damn close to the town center. I mean, this is about as close as you can get in Age of Empires, to be honest. Where's his additional gold? 2 patches to the bottom left of his map, or rather settlement, and 1 additional pile of stone to the bottom right. The Bengalis, also 3 forests, although the forward position of our Bengali completely open, but in exchange for that, he has his primary gold very much secure to the back, primary stone also secure to the back, additional gold very exposed to the front of his base, additional stone annoyingly placed on a hill to the bottom left of his settlement. So whereas one player has very well placed forests, the other one, even though the forests are pretty close as well, not well placed in terms of walling off, does have a much more secure gold. And so another sheep. How much? I mean, DogAo, our Bengali, is just leaving sheep, not sheep to rot out in the sun. Is he going to discover, by the way, where the Viper is? No. Pivots away at the worst time. Oh, if only he had seen that this was a 4 pile of stone. He'd know he's in the right vicinity. The Viper, for his part, has seen where DogAo is located. And by the way, let's see, I caught it. I missed it in yesterday's game with the Ethiopians getting the extra resources. Out pop 2 villagers, immediately start hacking and hewing at the sheep. And this poor sheep just melts into the sands, or rather grasslands of Arabia. Always funny to say. Always make that mistake. As the players are now both going to have double bit axe. Let's see what they're building. DogAo walling off the western portion of his map. We'll see if that means he expects aggression, or we'll see if that means he wants to be the one putting on the aggression with 3 scouts. I believe it's going to be the latter, and he is probably going to be very much keen on finding where the resources are. And by the way, he's seen the primary gold of the Viper, and so he knows if he wants to lame it, he's going to have a pretty decent time. The players, especially with 3 scouts, can body block villagers as the villagers run away to the town center. Although we'll see. At the moment, it is the Viper who is aggressing against our Bengali. 2 scouts moving forward. Where's the third for our Bengali? There it is. So he's got 1 scout in the forward position who is huffing his way home, it looks like, very quickly. Oh, 2 lumberjacks. Okay, idled for a second. Okay, so the DogAo should be able to push this away. The Viper not getting too much done. Actually, not getting anything done, to be honest. A little bit of HP knocked down from one of his scouts. A little bit of HP knocked down from one of these scouts. And so a little bit of an exchange of HP, as one would expect in Feudal Age. By the way, is this open? This kind of seems open to me. And so wall off all the live long day. Also, this seems open to me too. What is going on? I'm seeing openings where openings may or may not exist. Okay. Villager says, I don't want to take any berries. Just leave me the hell alone. And she survives to tell the tale, immediately plops down a wall off to the western portion of the base. And so the DogAo's safe to the east. I'm not sure if I called this west a second ago or east, but in any event, you guys know what I mean. Oh, look at this unit. I think, what did I do the other day that really annoyed me? Oh yes, yesterday's game, as I was editing and watching it back, because I do watch my own videos, not out of any kind of narcissism, but more to just see, am I making any sense? Am I entertaining? Are there enough, is there enough actual knowledge here to make a game fun to watch? But I think I called a sergeant a donjon. I think I said Mr. Yo moved forward with his donjon instead of his sergeant at one point in the game. First blood here going to the Viper, but doesn't last very long. 4 kills to 2. So finally, at the 13.5-minute mark of the game, the players have had enough. The anticipation has built, and now the Viper's going to try to bust into here, but there's 2 villagers who should be repairing this gate. Not too sure where the hell they think they're going. Perhaps creating a secondary wall off now that the archers are here. And this is going to be a little difficult for DogAo to defend with these archers, by the way. Although it does manage to get 132 HP up on this house. And should be able to right-click if he wants to a little bit more here. Not too sure why the Viper is maneuvering these archers so much. Can put one here, can put one there, and all of a sudden, Bob's your uncle. Your opponent can't really do much. And out comes that Bengali skirmisher. I don't know why I said that Bengali skirmisher as if they're like a famous skirmisher civilization. They are very much not a famous skirmisher civilization. This obviously is not open, right? Otherwise, the Viper would be inserting himself into here. Okay, yeah, the archers. I mean, come on. To me, that looks completely open. Oh, Age of Empires. Sometimes you are absolutely hilarious. Looks like the Viper is to the north here with a whole bunch of archers. He's going to try to shoot away these lumberjacks. To the south, he's going to try to bust into the base. Let's zoom out a little bit. I really don't like doing this. Zooming out where the units look like tiny little figurines, but at the end of the day, this might be a weak spot here for our Bengali base. Speaking of weak spot, he might want to relocate some of these villagers to perhaps lumberjack over here, or actually over here would be pretty safe as well. But 2 gold miners have been repurposed. You are carrying 6 gold. You are carrying 7 gold. And so instead of dropping that gold off, you are now building a house. And the Viper, just happy to idle the economy of the Bengalis. So even though villagers aren't dying, even though structures aren't being really destroyed here, what the Viper is very much doing is pulling villagers from gathering resources. and instead forcing them to undertake Herculean labors where they have to walk across the entire map, build a house, and then walk all the way back. So, tale as old as time continues here as the archers, now done trying to attack the villagers, are now trying to help the one scout bust his way into the base. Whereas these skirmishers, I mean, DogAo's army's kind of backwards, question mark. I feel like the archers should be to the left and the skirmishers should be to the right, given that the archers of the Viper are here to the right and the scouts are here to the left. But is the Viper just going to glom up his army now into one big ball? Let's see what kind of ball that would be. We've got 8 scouts and 7 archers. Did I see one scout's basically dead? Yeah, you've got 3 HP. You might want to go on relic duty. Looks like DogAo is sneaking in a few of his own scouts up here. We'll keep an eye on those, see what they can accomplish, if anything. And this is amazing. 2 more villagers pulled off the production line. So even though our Bengali is ahead 1 villager, they both have 2 idols. But now the Bengali really has 4 idols because, okay, maybe 3 because she goes back to Jack and Lumber. So just amazing, amazing little decisions and feudal age shenanigans out of both players. Speaking of idols, you've got a big axe in your hand. Now it's a basket, which tells me you're going to be a farmer. And the Viper manages to get a villager. He does have +1 attack and range. He is going up to Castle Age about 10 seconds behind his opponent. 1 villager behind. Even more archers. Now our Mongol, of course, I said they are a cavalry-centric army. And so the Viper laughs weeks later after this game is played, or maybe days later. I'm not too sure exactly when this game was played. And says, haha, I'm just going to go foot archers. And I mean, I was going to say the same thing about our elephant civilization, but you can't really train elephants in feudal age. So I might still be vindicated here in terms of cavalry civilization versus elephant civilization. Although, honestly, this may be one of the few instances where I don't mind if we see a lot of ratas instead of elephants. It looks like a bit of a scuffle here as a scout takes out an archer reinforcement. So I don't know that DogAo managed to get anything really done in the Viper settlement. We'll have seen that. But he definitely does manage to pick off one of the reinforcing archers here, which means the Viper has a measly 15 archers. And now his scouts are going to have bloodlines in a second, adding a little bit of meat to their HP as he yet again tries to lame the wood line to the north, tries to bust in through another part of the base. Crossbow, bodkin, light cav for our Mongol, skirmisher, bodkin, crossbow for our Bengali. I mean, this is a pretty formidable anti-archer army out of our Bengali, 16 units to 16, but the Viper's got these guys. Now, wisely, the Viper is not taking an engagement just yet. He needs 10 more seconds. And then these guys are going to be light cav. And remember, Mongol light cav do come with 30% more HP. And in they come. 98 HP. If you're wondering how we got to 98, let me just finish watching this battle and then I'll let you know immediately as DogAo's army gets wiped off the face of the earth. Holy shit. He's got 2 armies of white. Oh, mama. That was disgusting. So 60 HP as a base. Then you add 20 for bloodlines going up to 80. And then 30% of the original 60. You don't take 30% of the bloodlines upgrade. So 30% of the original 60 is 18. So 60 plus 20 plus 18 gives them a 98. Crossbows are moving forward. It looks like both players adding additional town centers. The Viper has added one here. Let's take a look at his settlement. He's gone up to 2 archery ranges, a stable, a barracks, a blacksmith, and a university. I don't even see a market here. Okay. Whereas our Bengali 1, 2, 3 town centers does have also 2 archery ranges, also a barracks, also a stable, also a blacksmith. But unlike our Mongol, does have a market for all the good that that might do him at the moment. I don't see him on the left side of our screen balancing any kind of economy, which is just a fancy schmancy term for selling resources, buying other resources with it. with the gold you make from the sale. Crossbows continue to finally lame the entire wood line to the north, but our Bengali still has a bunch of I mean, this is open, no? What am I missing? Is our Bengali enticing the Viper to try to come into his base? Why? And if so, why is the Viper not taking him up on the offer? Why is he trying to bust in by wasting time attacking palisades here? I don't understand it. It looks like the skirmisher slash crossbow dynamic duo here managed to kill all of the Viper's northern crossbows, although I say all of them, there were only 3. As the guy safe for now. And there it is, finally. A siege workshop no doubt will pump out a mangonel or 2 right as the Viper repositions his military to account for more cav archers. He's going up to 5 cav archers. I mean, look at the army supply. It's just ridiculous. But DeGao has defender's advantage. Oh my god. He's got defender's advantage. What he doesn't have is freaking ballistics, which is allowing these crossbows with Bodkin to just absolutely wreck his economy. Oh, and he's going to discover there's cav archers here. Oh, what a sour way to discover. Well, the Viper's going to discover there's a town center here. 1 down. 2 down. And there's your lack of ballistics. The cav archers back away. So the Viper loses a cav archer. The guy loses a villager. University's not going up anytime soon. Loses another villager out here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the Viper knows this is open. I sometimes feel like a broken record, but I don't know what to make of this because, okay, now this is definitely open. Oh, and DeGao's attempt to wall it back up. Opened it, closed it. Didn't really work out for him, but will he lose the mangonel? Will he lose the mangonel? He does, but in exchange for 4 scout units, that's... I mean, 320 food is not that big of a loss. As a bunch more Mongol crossbows did they die, probably to the town center. I was so focused on whether or not that mangonel would survive the Viper. Very much aggressive siege workshop here, not being very active with his cav archers at the moment. It looks like the even more villagers are going down. I mean, the kill count is double for the Viper at the moment. 40 kills to 20, and he's got 8 villager kills. Tell me you are... Okay, you are a monk. Okay, so the weakened cav archers did find a relic. University is up, and there's ballistics. Finally, our Bengali, who is housed at 100 population, is getting ballistics. Deer blocks the way of the army here. Let's see what prevails. High ground and counter unit versus crossbow with... Actually, no. The Viper is now behind on upgrades. And so the counter unit, now the Viper has the high ground for the most part. So that was about as bad as it could get there. All of a sudden, the kill count, the difference is 8. Used to be 20 a second ago. I was laughing at that. Okay, a cav archer for 2 skirmishers, not a bad trade. And the Viper also reveals that he's got a mangonel. Will DeGao get it? He does get it. I'm surprised. I didn't think that was going to I didn't think that was going to get the mangonel. It looked like the rocks were hitting behind it. A 4th town center for our Bengali. A 4th already up for our Mongol, who is going to have his first 2 relics in a second. 1, 2. And he's transitioned his military yet again, as I mentioned, to cav archers. So he's going to have mobility on his side. And remember, these are Mongol cav archers, so they do fire faster. And of course, right as I say he transitions to cav archers, he decides to slow down the game and add in a few skirmishers. Not a bad idea, especially since you see your opponent is going heavy on skirmishers as well. Good attack there by the Viper, but will lose that mangonel in exchange for 1 skirmisher. So not the greatest of trades. The guy's going to discover there's a castle. What percentage are we working with? 82, 83, 84. He's got to get the hell out of here. Stop pushing into here. Stop pushing into here. No. This is a very much one-way trip for these archer units. What's inside of you? Cav archers of all things. Yikes. So DeGao loses about half his army here, and the kill count goes back up to 20-ish. No! What the castle missed, that villager was dumbfounded. He like a deer in the headlights. He just stood there like, is that a mangonel? And then the mangonel fired on him, killed him, and now the kill count officially goes up to 61 to 41. But right as I say that, of course, DogAo. Okay, 4 or 5 cav archers for nothing. Fantastic get there for our Bengali. Absolutely catching the Viper out, and a monk as well. Maybe a monk. No, the crossbow finishes him off here. This guy with the cool helmet and the big old bolty crossbow. But step lancers are out. They do, like I said, come with 30% more HP. No attack upgrades, 1 armor upgrade, which is great because their base pierce armor is a 1. So even though there are a lot more skirmishers here, I don't know why the guy was reinforcing with these guys. These guys should be running the hell away, as should these villagers, by the way. Now, massing crossbows is a pretty good idea. If you can mass them, our Bengali here. I mean, he can't, I guess, go to Arbalests if he wanted to. He is going up to Imperial. He's got 18 fewer villagers than his opponent, but for the first time in a long time, our Bengali's army outnumbers his opponent 2 to 1, and he's going to discover that there's a lurking band of step lancers here, unless the Viper decides to move them. Let's see it. Discovers them. Let's see what's going on here. A random wolf attacking skirmishers. It looks like there's an attempt here to get gold, and then an attempt to lame the getting of the gold by the Viper. Okay, villager did not get the memo. 4 dead villagers in exchange for nada. And here we go. When you mix in some crossbows, man, do the step lancers tend to, I mean, especially if they're going after the skirmisher, yikes, they will melt. Will he get the crossbow before he dies? No, he does not. Okay, this is 6 dead skirmishers for our Bengali. And the Viper is now also heading up to Imperial. He's getting armor upgrades for his cavalry as well. So, I mean, I really don't know the direction of this game. I really don't know which direction the players want to go. We have, I mean, it looks like our Bengali is loading up on archer upgrades. I, of course, missed him going up to Imperial where 2 free villagers would pop out. He's still down 18 villagers, but I guess with 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers, he would have been down 26 villagers. Yeah, I think that's what 18 plus 6 is. So our Bengali is definitely going ranged with his upgrades. The Viper, I'm not too sure. He's getting melee cavalry armor, which tells me he might be interested in some Hussar raiding. And the longevity of his units, this castle will definitely go up unless the Viper brings some of these cav archers here. But no, he's going light cav. He's going actually 20 light cav and 2 Mangadai. Okay, sister castle's going up. Our Bengali first to Imperial, obviously first to get a treb out. But the Viper's castle's on the high ground and is protected by 2 random stallion wild horses. And never ever discount Mother Nature when it comes to protecting your base. And uh-oh, speaking of protecting your base, the Viper's busted in. 18 villager kills. Now this is always 19, 20. This is always the age-old question. If you want to raid, should you invest in armor upgrades or attack upgrades? Do you want to kill villagers faster but lose your units faster? Or do you want your units to stay around for a longer time and take a little bit of time to kill your opponent's units? The answer for the Viper is a little bit of both. Oh, even more raiding. Chemistry for our Bengali. These are still crossbows. Looks like one of his trebs did fall to the light cab, but there are 3 trebs here. Mangadai in the dead zone. Might as well just... Oh, and we're going Radas, finally! Now, why did I say I thought the rat... Okay, sorry to interrupt myself. He is going Hussars with conscription. And did I just see... did I just see nomads? Or drill? For our Mongol? Now, why did I say the rat... There, yeah, there it is. Drill. Oh, mama. Oh, he's going up to 7 rams. Why did I say Ratas? I'm going to repeat myself like 9 times. Are a decent unit here. Because generally with the Mongols, what do you see? You see step lancer rushes. You see cav archers, you see hussars. These are not units that have an attack bonus against the Rata. The Rata's big weakness is that it has about 1 billion different armor classes, and so anyone and everyone has an attack bonus against it. But the big power units of the Mongols don't. But right, of course, right as I say that, he stops at 2 Ratas. Looks like he wants to defend this Treb, which gunned down the castle. The Viper, he is going up to siege ram in 13 seconds. And these guys now move 50% faster. Look at them coming down the mountain when they do. Look at how fast they move. Holy moly. Kind of looks like they slowed down when they became siege rams, but in come the hussars. They're going to try to body block against some pikemen. And by the way, the Mongols don't have halberdiers. So their pike level defense against Ratas is not the greatest. Okay, going after the Trebs, an interesting move out of the Viper, nets him 2 dead Trebs. Pikemen are trying to stop these rams, but even without Furor Celtica, these are 270 HP units against a halberdier that attacks on a 6. And so even though they have -3 armor, which means the halberdier does 9 damage, what is 270 divided by 9? Exactly 30 pokes of the long pokey stick needed to kill this. That being said, our Bengalis army is basically twice as big as the Viper's army. And the Viper's army, mobile as it is, not exactly a very powerful army. Mostly hussars. Okay. I would love to see some Imperial Age units out of our Bengalis, aside from the halberdiers. Can we see an elite Rata? Can we see some arbalests? Okay, he's now investing in ring archer armor and iron casting. Again, not too sure iron casting, not too sure attack upgrades are what you want when you're mostly relying on bonuses. I get it against the Rams, but they already come with -3 armor. Whereas if you're trying to fight hussars with this, you don't really need a +1 attack since you're going to be dealing, oh my god, what is it, 32 extra damage? Yeah, 32 extra damage against cavalry. Okay, finishing off the hussar. Villagers need to get the hell out of this castle immediately. Immediately. No, don't repair the castle, attack the Rams. Oh man, you're on the high ground. I think you'll be safe here. Rata needs to move into melee mode, not a ranged mode here. Uh-oh. Marauders have shown up. We're going Parthian tactics, blast furnace again. We are seeing elephants. Oh, what a lucky day. What a glorious day. Now, the vast majority of one army is composed of halberdiers. The vast majority of the other army is composed of hussars. And traditionally, we know who wins that battle. It is usually the hussars who run circles around the halberdiers. But never discount the wrinkly butts as they move forward, reveal themselves to that one hussar. Okay, a few of them freeze, unsure of whether their actions are just or not. They don't know what to do. The Viper is here again with another raiding force. Okay, just passing on through, I guess. Not really interested in killing. 0 kills on these guys, by the way. They must be the ones that came up to the castle to the northeast of the map. Another Treb falls. A whole bunch of hussars die, but the elephant archers now, the count is up to 12. Oh, so of course, he's transitioning into scorpions, and heavy they are. The Viper's going up to 10 scorpions. I love it. They move so fast. They attack with such a punch. War elephant +8, building +4, ram +2. But there's a lot of elephants here. Our Bengali might want to get the hell away from the downhill position, though. This unit already attacks on a 21. You don't need to give it an extra 25% attack and you 25% less damage. I thought for a second the Treb was trying to target down the scorpions, but no, it is trying to get the castle. What a jumbled, confusing game. I mean, one of the big rules that I try to... How do I put this? Because I don't currently play Age of Empires, as everyone... Oh, siege engineers. Why the hell devotion? There's one monk. Your opponent has one monk. Why are you getting devotion? Okay. I guess you don't want your scorpions to be converted? Yeah. Anyway, one of the big things that I like to harp on about is game plan, game plan, game plan. And generally with players of this elo, there's usually a game plan. You know, sometimes it needs adjustments, sometimes they react to what's going on, but it doesn't really feel like the players had a game plan this game, as halberdiers melt in front of scorpions, elephants doing whatever they can, halberdiers adding some good DPS. So this castle should probably go up 80, 90. Doesn't really feel like these players had a game plan. Oh, did the game just glitch behind here? What do I feel like the game just glitched behind here? Or am I stroking out? Something happened. Anyway, what an absolute chaotic game out of both players. I mean, like I said, usually there's game plans, you can kind of see the direction the game is going, and honestly, look at the upgrades on our Bengali. Would have loved to see some more Radas, would have loved to see a lot more elephant archers. And it was just maybe they were busy reacting to reactions to reactions to reactions, but this was just let me know in the comments, what do you think? I always welcome thoughts, especially by players who have played a lot longer, who have different opinions. Was this a game you expected? Was this a bit more chaotic and just confusing? I mean, yeah, what an at the end of the day, though, the important thing is it was a ridiculously fun game, and I keep coming back here. How many kills? 6 kills by these halberdiers is a pretty damn good kills, and are they? Yeah, they're all villagers. So at the end of the day, though, the like I said, when you go halberdier versus hussar, not always, but it's usually a good safe bet that the hussar-based army is going to ultimately win out, unless we're talking about an enclosed map like Arena or Fortress, or even a map like Black Forest, where the halberdiers can smush their way into the faces of the hussars. But if the hussar is given free reign, especially on an open map like this, generally the army with the more favorable food income here, 69 villagers. How many did .dogao have towards the end? 40. Generally does end up taking in. Let's take a look, because he held quite well, .dogao, through feudal and early castle. The Viper racked up a good amount of kills once the aggression actually started. When was it? Like the 12-13 minute mark of the game? I should probably remember these things, but I get so caught up. You guys know I get so caught up in the game itself. Sometimes the nitty gritty escapes me towards the end. But I think for about 15 to 20 minutes, there was non-stop aggression at DeGao's base, beginning in feudal and then in early to mid castle. And then he finally managed to push out a little bit. But with the transition to scorpions, this is about as deadly unit as you get. Now, I think I said they attack on a 21 earlier. I was absolutely wrong. I think it's a 17. Not too sure where the hell 21 came from. Maybe I have blackjack on the mind, but let's take a look at why DeGao ultimately did resign, because his army count's not terrible. Okay, I see. Okay, immediately two things stand out to me. I feel like I recently, a few days ago, don't ask me why I put myself through these. I sometimes just, I see a movie that I've seen before, I watch it again, especially as I'm nodding off to sleep and passing out. But I watched X-Men Apocalypse, and like all X-Men movie, it was just absolutely terrible. And I'm really hoping that Deadpool 3 kind of ties in that universe a little bit better than Sony's been able to do with the X-Men movies. But number one, that movie has one of the best opening scenes of any superhero movie. I love that ancient Egypt opening scene. But at the end, when Apocalypse is confronted by Jean Grey and sees the Phoenix Force within her, and it says all is revealed, two things are have become revealed to me. I'm looking, take a look at the bottom right of your screen. 102 dead villagers for our Bengali, only 18 villagers killed by him. So our Mongol killed, what is that, 7 times more villagers, 6 times more villagers? Yeah, a little bit less than 6 times more villagers than his opponent. And DeGao is down to 85 villagers to 137. He's down 50 plus villagers. And number two, take a look at his army. Does this strike you as an Imperial Age army? I mean, the upgrades are Imperial Age, but aside from the halberdiers and a single treb, a lonely Rada, not elite, Elephant Archer, basic. And he's fighting heavy Scorpions and fully upgraded Mongol Hussars, which already come with that ridiculous 30% extra HP. And Mangudai, which I don't think are elite. No, they're not elite. Okay, so forget the 2 Mangudai that are on the field right now. But man, losing all those villagers, investing all that money in upgrades, and then being stuck at the 51-minute mark of the game with a Castle Age army against the Mongols. Is there anything worse in Age of Empires? Is there anything more shudder-inspiring than that, facing these ridiculous... How many kills at the end of the day? They must have a huge number of kills. 26 for 18 is not terrible. You'd think that the Scorpions would generally have more kills, but players are generally very hesitant to engage right into them in a full frontal. He threw away a few halberdiers here, as we saw earlier, but generally, I would say 29 kills on 18 Scorpions is pretty damn good. More of a backup unit, despite the fact that, remember, it does have these amazing bonuses. Building +5, so bye-bye Military Industrial Complex. War Elephant +8, and these, by the way, have War Elephant, there you go, 0 armor. So they do +8 damage to already doing 17. Although, remember, with Parthian Tactics, 8 Pierce armor. It still won't help against that bonus. That basically gets nullified by the bonus. Now, one thing I will say about the Viper, beyond his ridiculous gold count, speaking of ancient Egypt, he lived and won the game as a pharaoh here with 6,000 gold. One thing I will say about the Viper, in his army composition, there's nothing here that can destroy buildings, aside from the Scorpions, and there's definitely nothing here that can destroy castles. And so maybe he's relying on some of these Hussars dying out as they raid. And by the way, they are raiding the shit out of the Bengali settlement. Oh man, are they in multiple locations? And that's what I'm talking about when you have a halberdier-based army versus a Hussar-based army on an open map. Generally, the Hussars end up winning it. But maybe the Viper is hoping that some of these Hussars will bite the dust, because he's at 187 population and he's training 17 more units. So he's going to be supply capped very, very quickly, and no room for those amazing lightning fast siege rams or even trebuchets to come out of these castles. Not that he's even queuing them up at the moment. He does have enough wood for 1 treb. But what the hell is that gold? We have to look at the economy. 6,000 gold. This is what happens when you let the Viper have map control. I mean, come on. We've seen it so many times. That one game when he was the Saracens and he had about a bazillion gold in the bank. 173 Hussars, 71 Halberdiers. PKPM for our Mongol at the beginning in... there you go. That's right as the killing started. That's when he peaked it with his APM. By the way, ridiculous APM. Hera level APM. PKPM for our Bengali towards the middle of the game. And let's take a look at the economy, because they can't possibly be close. Yeah, look at that. All 4 resources and the relic gold going to our Mongol. 20,000 more resources. When you give the Mongol 20,000 more resources, you don't win the game. Wood, a little bit more. Food, a lot more. Gold, surprisingly, for somebody who ended the game with 6,000 gold in the bank, only about 3,000 gold difference. 666, always nice to see. I like when numbers end in 666 or 888. I feel like those are lucky. Not a 777 kind of guy. But stone, an extra castle's worth of stone. Conversion 0 out of both players. Not surprising. Their buildings lost. Our Mongol destroyed 9 to the 3 of his opponent. And at the end of the day, I mean, let me know what you think. I think this game might be one of the most chaotic, and in terms of game plan, a little bit confusing of any game that I have casted thus far. Got a single Rata, 0 kills. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at the upgrades on this guy. Why not go full on Rata? There's nothing that the Viper has here. Hussars don't come with an attack bonus. Mangudai don't come with an attack bonus. I don't think even Scorpions come with an attack bonus against Rata. They're not a building. They're not a ram. They're not a war elephant. So going Rata, where you can switch melee, especially when you're trying to do some raiding and villagers start clumping and running to town centers. And now the Ratas in melee mode come with a 20% trample damage in a half tile radius, I believe. That could potentially be deadly, and especially since you've already invested in so many upgrades for them, why not switch over? That being said, never going to say that I'm unhappy to see elephants as they waddle their delicious, chunky red, I guess in this case, butts over to defend, but yeah, look how slow they are. They're never going to catch up to these Hussars. So I feel like the game plan for DogAo, despite holding, and by the way, holding amazingly well, it's very rare we get to see the Viper put on insane levels of aggression. And there was a moment he caught out the Bengali army here with those, when his scouts became light cav, and he eviscerated the Bengali army, but then he lost all his crossbows, I think here, to the right of this forest, against the skirmisher crossbow combo of our Bengali. But even though he held impressively well and stayed alive for 51 minutes, I think DogAo, he should have picked a lane, right? Either go melee or go, either go for the elephant death ball or go for radas, which I guess could be both melee and ranged. But by not committing to any particular, I guess, branch of the military and instead doubling down on a little bit of this, a little bit of that, the Viper was just able to steamroll him, especially with map control. When you give the Mongols map control and he still even has a bit of the gold next to his base, and DogAo has the same, but you can't mind this, not with Mangudai, not with Scorpions here. But our Bengali, a bit arrested development here, stuck in Castle Age, where his two most powerful units here, the Elephant Archer and the Rada, are just stuck in Castle Age. And the Viper, heavy Scorpions, and Hussars. That is very much an Imperial Age army. And by the way, fully upgraded Hussars and fully upgraded heavy Scorpions with siege engineers. And that is just an absolute death sentence for a Castle Age army. And that is ultimately exactly what happened, despite the fact that, again, our Bengali did a fantastic job holding, trying to push out against this castle, lost a lot of trebs to the light cavalry units of the Mongol. But when you're playing the Mongol, you have to factor in that you're going to see a lot of light cavalry. Like I said, they are a fast, lightning, light on their feet civilization that will raid the hell out of you, especially with these extra tanky Hussars. And the slow-moving Castle Age army of our Bengali just could not catch up. And like I said, please do let me know in the comments, is this one of the craziest, most chaotic, confusing games that we've ever seen? I feel like neither side really cemented a game plan until, what, 5 minutes ago? 7, 8, 10 minutes ago? Which is very strange. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually they cement the game plan, and then towards the end they tweak it. They modify, they react to reactions of reactions, and so forth. But I feel like that didn't really happen here, and though it was an incredibly fun game to watch, 102 dead villagers is never not fun to watch. Ultimately, the Mongol Imperial Age army swarms over the Bengali, and the slower moving Bengali army cannot catch up, despite having arguably the most powerful unit out on the field, the Trebuchet. But oh, look at these guys. They're salivating. Let's take a look at his vision. He sees it. Of course, he sees it with the extra line of sight on their scout line units. He sees it. He is heading straight for it. And 3 of these guys fully upgraded with Blast Furnace are going to destroy this ram. You're not a ram. You are a Trebuchet. Sorry about that. And wow, what a fun, chaotic, confusing, jumbled mess of a game. That's all I can say. Aside from the Viper is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.